Chark Valley was an extremely hostile environment. The Haqqani and Taliban had basically free will to move around Chark, do what they wanted to on their own time without having to fear a whole lot.
Nelson, get a machine gun in the corner! Get a stop! What? Where's he coming? We're taking RPG fire!
My daughter had been born August 6th, 2011, and a month later, I was in the worst spot in Afghanistan.
I got to do with an RPG on a house.
We're stuck. Start suppressing. Go!
I was only in the Army for 7 months before I deployed to Afghanistan.
Personally, I didn't know what it was going to be like, what to expect. You know, it was my first deployment, and getting there and having sergeants and staff sergeants that have been to Iraq and Afghanistan multiple times tell you we've never been in a fight this heavy. I'm like, whoa, what do I have on my hands?
Clear!
Not a single person in my platoon had even been to Chark before, so it was all new to us. Chark Valley is densely vegetated, surrounded by mountains on the east and on the west, and it's open to the north and the south. Being so close to Pakistan, the Taliban were able to resupply, regroup really easily.
You could feel the aggression. You could sense the aggression. When we moved into a crowded area, you could feel the pressure building. You knew something was coming. Maybe people would kind of step inside their doorway threshold, or maybe kind of ease back into their individual stores, which led you to prepare, you know, for the worst.
The bazaar, it's basically an area of Chark where they have all their shops, where they sell their goods, food, they have meat hanging up for people to buy. It's basically a little Afghan outlet mall.
Sit on this side of it, man. Get in cover.
One day we were walking through the bazaar, just a typical regular patrol.
We had just finished a mission in a village a little further out. We were just on our way back in.
The freaking pop you heard was an impact. Get on this side of the wood.
We took a pot shot from down the alley. A guy shoots at you, and then he's all of a sudden gone. You don't see anything, you don't see brass.
You never know when someone walks by you if they're not gonna return 10 minutes later and construct an ambush around you. You could have just brushed shoulders with him on the street and you would have never known it.
Set up the gun team to cover your movement. I want you to push down New York by teams on Overwatch. Set in security on our exfil, covering those orchards, and then we'll push the rest of the platoon through.
Let's go. Oh. Right side.
This not conventional warfare. You really don't know who's who. You don't know if a woman in a full burqa is even a woman half the time because they're completely covered. You don't know if it's a guy walking by you with an AK strapped to his chest or a grenade tied off to him.
Hey, you got team, come here. Go with Brower. We're gonna set you up facing Pegram. That's where the shot came from.
I had 2 teams underneath me, which makes up a squad.
I was the alpha team leader in our 2nd squad of 2nd platoon, which was the maneuver squad. Our main focus was to maneuver on the enemy when we would take fire. I was the first eyes on anything that we were, you know, approaching.
Hey, next guy, let's go.
We started making our way to where we thought the fire had come from. Everything has mud walls everywhere, so we're climbing over mud walls. We're climbing through alleys. We started moving towards another village where we were pretty sure the guy had taken off to.
Shit, ID. Yeah, blew someone up right there. Hey, get down in here, let's go! Let's go! Get down in here! Alpha team, let's go! Around this way. Alright. Guns set up there to cover our advance. Wood, get up here with your saw. Wood, come on! Hey, anybody? I don't ID. Are they up there right now?
We had just had one IED go off. They're known for doing secondary IEDs. It's in the back of my mind, well, where's the other ID at, you know? Is there gonna be another one? And if I was them, where would I put it?
Go into the village. Don't go down that road. Hey, we're going into the village right here. 2622, we got one about 8-year-old.
They can literally shoot at you, run around the corner, store their weapon, and then come out behind you just walking down the street waving at you.
Tatarasha. Where at? Hey, don't. Hey, come here. You, come here. Hold on. Hey, full security on this door.
Since they don't have a weapon, that's what makes it so difficult, because they can shoot at you, and then once they put down their weapon, they're all of a sudden a civilian again.
I'm gonna be pushing some guys back to you, 6. Come on. Hey, keep security on the guys. You, come on. You, come on.
Come up here.
People are just kind of hanging out, you know, right after an IED went off. I guess it's just every day for them. They were just kind of standing around, doing whatever.
If you can go through these alleys, clear those with you and a couple guys, this is where I'm worried about right now.
Right in here?
Yeah.
Hey, you wanna go with me? You need to stay with 6. Hey. Hold on. Hey, pal, come with me. Watch out for that pile of rocks.
I started looking for anything out of the ordinary, rocks out of place, fresh mud on walls, anything like that that looks like to where maybe another possible IED was.
Don't try to walk on soft stuff if you can avoid it. If you don't see anything, don't go sticking your hand in there.
I had separated from my Alpha team. I started moving out with one of my riflemen to search for anything brass, if someone threw a cell phone to the ground, anything that I could find.
What we got? Stay in your freaking security. Pal! Get over here! Hey, push this way! Let's go! Let's go! Push this way! Let's go! Push! Start westing. I want to wrap around and maneuver. Alright, let's go!
My Alpha team and Wood came in contact from down the alleyway.
2 guys pop out back and forth, popped out, and I see an AK, and I shot, and all hell broke loose after that.
We have a guy, an insurgent, step out from around the corner and just, you know, take fire at us in close range, you know. I think several of us are still here today like, how in the world didn't I get hit by one of those bullets? Just bullets, you know, landing all around us.
Get out of the alley! Go! Get out of the alley! Go out here! We can't get down there! Roger, go! Hey, Roger, coming through here!
I'd been firing down the alley and had pushed back, and then looked in the wall and realized that there was a big glob of mud there. It actually turned out to be an IED where I'd been fighting and standing by the entire time, but with all the chaos and everything, that was the last thing on my mind, was looking for an IED while I'm getting shot at.
My bag got shot off me.
Southwest, you good on ammo?
3 mags down!
Here you go.
I'm trying to make it back to my freaking team. I'm gonna need some covering fire to get down that alley. Hey, we got guys moving! We got guys moving down the alley! Right here! Hey! Hey, 6, 2, 3! Hey! Go! I got you, go!
I'm exchanging fire. I tried to get through the alley a couple times, but I was cut off with more machine gun fire that was slapping the walls beside me. I knew I needed to get back to my Alpha team, but I didn't want to be separated because they were sitting there just by themselves.
I'm gonna be making my way Into the field, coming from the 6 o'clock. Roger.
It's extremely important for Ben to get back with his squad and reconsolidate.
Broward, stay down. You're taking heavy rounds on the wall. Stay down.
When we get divided, we're kind of ineffective. We don't have the weapons we need, and we don't have the line of communication we need to begin a movement on the enemy.
Where you at? All right, I'm coming in. Lay down fire. All right.
Basically ran and gunned, and then ran through the little hole to meet up with my other team who had been separated.
2722.
If you were to ask yourself what leader you would want if anything was going to go wrong, you'd want Ben. He always wants to be in the middle of everything and right there with us, shooting right beside us.
You okay? Dude, almost got. There were rounds between my legs everywhere, dude. Sit down.
This is 2-2, Roger. I'm currently linked up with my Alpha team. My Bravo team is back with 2-7.
I wasn't in Afghanistan for myself. There was no way. I was in Afghanistan just for myself. There's nothing to gain for me, in my opinion. I was there for my buddies, to my left, my right.
Where's it at? Lay down. Lay down. Take your helmet off. Lay down. Hey, did y'all see his ass shooting at us?
Yeah. I saw him turn around the corner.
Hit him?
Hey, young guy, we got all our equipment, right? Yeah.
You're good, man. No blood.
At the end of the day, nobody was seriously injured.
Dude, see, helmet saves lives.
The close calls we all faced on a daily basis were insane. I mean, it's a matter of inches, matter of centimeters between life or death, but we'd still go out every single day and patrol.
Clear.
Life on the cop, it wasn't bad. I mean, food wasn't the greatest, but we're a real tight-knit group of guys, so I mean, it wasn't a bad time at all.
Back stick, feels good, safe. Oh!
Hold it, I'm gonna just take a bite of it.
Do it. If you keep thinking about it, you just get. Shit. Eat it.
It tastes like weed.
Eat it! Swallow it! Be a man! Come on, Joe! Be a man!
We just did stupid stuff with each other. Anytime we go out on patrol, we would play music just before we get out, just to get ready. You know, it might be our last time, but just little things. We just did just anything to, you know, to get our minds off stuff.
Winter was extremely cold. It was extremely frustrating. It was just kind of painful just at how cold it was.
Arguably, you've got less cover because the vegetation has died off. So you're more of a target out there. Guy in multicam patrol gear, and you've got a backdrop of white snow all around you. So kind of made you a bigger target, and it a lot easier for them embed IEDs in places. You got snow cover. I mean, we can't dig through all the snow. It kind of made the Taliban's job a little easier.
Patrolling through really deep snow, and then the snow would melt, and then it would get muddy, and then it would snow again, and you're just walking around getting shot at.
We got a guy. Yeah, right behind the wall. Hey, grenade.
In Band Decay, you didn't want to be out there during the day. It was just something we just knew we were always going to get in the shit.
Hey, come down. Hey, wait. Wait up right here. Push down about 20 feet. I'm pushing up this alley, pretty exposed to this area, but I couldn't really think too much of it. Go with them. Keep spread out, guys.
Get back! Hey! He's on the roof! He's on the...
We took a shot from our direct front, and it basically went right through the middle of us. Didn't hit a single person, but we reacted quick, started returning fire.
Hey, Roger, we had PID on him. He's on top of the roof, right here at the end of the alley there, 12 o'clock. Hey, Prosecco, get up here with the 203.
It was the Bandit K sniper. He was famous. He always harassed us, but we never knew where he was, because he'd run through different buildings, shoot from one spot, then run to another building, shoot from another spot. We could never find him. He was like a ghost.
This way?
Yeah. We need to get around through this alleyway and push up to these buildings. They're in contact. Let's go. So.
Sergeant Weston's squad got in contact from a sniper up on this rooftop. My squad, along with the platoon sergeant, are on the other side of the orchard. We're running really fast, trying to get there before the sniper has a chance to displace and move to a different location.
Hit it again, come on. Let's go. Hit that shit. Oh no, this guy. Come here. To the left, to the left. Where's he at? To the left. Roger, that's us. To the left. I just lost him. You gotta go for that cone right here.
Being the first person is a little nerve-wracking, but I love being a point man and being the first one around corners. Pretty much the mission dictates off of that. You're choosing the mission by the routes that you choose.
Where's this building at?
Hey, that's that building, so we can move in on it. We're moving in now.
Hit that shit with smoke. Too far. Hey, send me some covering fire.
Ready?
Hey, just 2 bursts real quick.
Where? Right down there?
On the roof, I'm gonna run up there and hit it with smoke. All right, stand by. Roger, I was having a way covering fire. I had to run up and throw smoke on it by hand. Hey, smoke's on the roof. Smoke's on the roof. I'm kind of proud. That's kind of a far throw of the smoke.
Hey, 6. Hey, 6, there's a doorway right here.
There's a door right here. You can go right into the house.
Hey, fucking open hands.
Hey.
Come here, one second.
Tell them we're coming in your house because someone just shot at us.
Hey, this is Lauren. Mark the building with one smoke. Want me to mark it again? Yeah, hit it.
Lock doorway left. And lock doorway right.
Come out to open it.
We're right on it. Shoot it up the building on your side.
I mean, it just really starts to piss you off because, you know, these guys just keep gnawing at you and keep gnawing at you, and if you don't kill them, you're never going to find them. I mean, you can't, they're so good at hiding, they're so good at picking up after themselves, it just makes it really difficult.
I don't know what you're saying. I know there's people shooting at us from this house, though. So. Doorway right.
Hey, back up.
Short room.
What's in there?
Roger, I got it. I got the smoke. Roger.
Clear?
We ended up not finding him, which happens often, and it pisses us off often. It sucks when you get shot at from a specific area, and then you go to that area and there's nothing there, not even a empty shell casing or a weapon or any of that, and drives you nuts.
We're gonna move past their location and stage in this alley. Nelson, stay to the rear with that saw. Hey, keep your freaking weapons up, get ready. Because I know this guy didn't have time to go far. In the back of my mind, I was already thinking this guy's probably gone anyway. We're gonna end up finding nothing, which is usually the case, unless we kill him. It seems to be the daily thing by getting shot at by people and never being able to find them.
Coming out.
Winter was just a warm-up for what was to come, you know, in the spring and summer months.
Winter was tough, but we knew as bad as it gets here, it's gonna get worse in the spring and summer.
OP2 covered in clouds. Visibility like 25 meters. Yeah, I'm still pulling guard. What do you know?
We set up several OPs throughout our deployment to get kind of our eyes on the valley where we could see what was happening, and it provided our patrols with a sense of security.
You're up on top of this mountain, you can see everything in the valley, and nobody likes fighting an uphill battle, so if you're uphill, you're doing pretty good. No showers, and you have to ration your food and water. You got probably another week or week and a half until you either get resupplied or you come off the mountain. That was monotonous at first, but later on in the spring and stuff, it got heated up and we started getting in fights up there.
2, this is 2 Alpha. You want me to wait for the gun to get up here before we start moving over?
Hey, 2 Alpha, wait for the gun to get in place.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the gun to get placed. Give us overwatch while we go down.
So basically I was up with my squad, an old Russian OP that the Russians had back in the 80s. Olson was up with his team on 2410 facing our direction. Our cop had been getting repeatedly attacked every day by an RPG team. They'd come, they'd hit us with 2 or 3 RPGs and they'd bounce. So my squad stayed up and we actually sent a squad back, make it sound like we were just patrolling and going back to the cop.
Let's go, Alpha. 2, this is 2 Alpha. We're going back through the front gate, right?
Yeah, roger, roger.
Roger.
My squad ends up coming down the mountain to pretty much to trick the Taliban into thinking that everybody's gone. We get back to the cop, and Sergeant Weston's squad and LT are still up there.
No, they had no clue. We look down and there's literally 3 guys walking towards the cop. One carrying 2 RPG warheads, one carrying the actual RPG, and then another carrying an AK, just walking down the road like strolling.
Their plan almost certainly was to go shoot RPGs at our cop.
Roger, that's a good copy. A, can you mark it with any kind of 203 smoke?
We set our machine guns on them and initiated fire, hit one, the other 2 ran and got behind a wall. What is taking Cinco so long? Sit up here and observe. I grabbed a small D and I was like, well, we can just take care of the problem now. You know, if I can just hit the wall and I could end him right there. Hey, where's the building at? Look out.
It's that, see the blue-door 2-story house?
Move.
See where the tracers are hitting? They just went in there inside that house.
All right, I got it. Hey, get back.
See the white house that we were looking at yesterday?
Right where the rock.
You gotta hit the corner building of that house.
They were behind big Kalat walls. Figured, well, we're just gonna fire rockets at him, you know, see if we can hit him like that. Up on the mountain, it's a long shot for these rockets. Get back. All right.
Hey, clear.
Back blast area clear. Am I clear?
Back blast area clear!
Low. Yeah, it was low. I know exactly where it's at now. How far down is that somebody? I can make it down. Hit that shit for him.
He's down there.
2722, I'm making my way down to 2 Bravo's location. Where's this bitch at? Let me see it. Where's the
Right where that black smoke stand.
Okay. I was right on it.
When you shoot rockets off, you can see the dust kick up, and guess what? You just marked yourself for them to shoot at you.
You good? Get out! Get out! Come on! We get it again! Get on the gun! Suppress out here! Suppress out here! Suppress! Go! Get on that gun! It's coming out here! Right out here! Suppress!
I don't think they had seen us before that. And when the Taliban realized we were up on the mountain, they just continued to hit our position. Every time we stopped shooting, they would hammer our position and hammer it some more.
Right! Yes, right there! Hit those compounds! Fuck you, get that compound! Get some rounds! Get out, go! Go!
One of our machine gunners had just got issued his 240 machine gun in the last couple of days. And so happened that weapon was very important really quickly in a firefight, and he had some problems getting it up.
Get that gun in action, let's go! Give it 6 rounds, move! Look out! Look out! Look out, look out, look out!
I'm trying to.
I know, I got you, man. Feed that shit, go! Hey, see that blue door right there with the red triangles, left and right. Put a burst straight through that door. There you go. Hit another 203. Hit another 203. God, keep that shit loaded. Don't unload that. Hit that again. Same area. Hey, I need Nelson. Just Nelson. Come here. Nelson, hammer that compound out there. It's about 800 meters where all those green trees are. Green trees? Yeah. Go.
Hey,
that was incoming.
Yep. Watch out. Oh, they're still shooting.
Shit,
The
dude.
rounds are hitting right in front of them, guys.
LT, go! Back blast area clear! Hit it up. Nice! I can hit it further with this one. Back blast area clear! Let's go!
So we're getting hit from the whole front, and we're just hitting them with everything we have up there. And I'm going through rounds, and I'm watching my barrel get hot. I mean, hot, glowing red hot.
Keep going, pick it up, Nelson.
You gotta pick up for me, brother.
Hey, talk the guns! One at a time. Oh, get down!
I kind of, got up and stood up. Probably a stupid decision on my end. Just stood completely up, and that's when I started taking rounds right there at my feet on the rocks beside me.
Hey, you got lube?
Yeah, I lube.
Give me some lube.
It's so hot.
I smoked my gun. My gun's done. So now we're up on OP, still getting shot at, and I just lost the squad automatic weapon. We're screwed.
You got a round in there. You're tracking that, right?
Yeah, I'm saying yeah, but it was stuck. It wouldn't come out.
Give me a.
Hey, Gerber. Who's got Gerber?
He's got a 9 for a Gerber. Got a round jammed in here. Give it here. Pick it up! Pick it up! Pick it up! Pick up the fire! Get him, Nelson! Up!
We were taking so much fire from these guys on the ground. We were having to lay down so much fire as well to try to keep them from hitting us that we were starting to run low on ammunition.
Lawrence, give me a round count.
Got another 100 right here.
All right, we're gonna have to be real conservative.
We can't go black on ammo.
No.
The consequences of running out of ammo, I mean, probably I'd say deadly. I mean, I'm not gonna pick up my gun like a bat and, you know, throw it at them. Not having your immediate rifle or weapon to return fire is pretty serious.
You ready to break down on this backside? 2 Bravo, get your guys, get them ready to break down. Never been so low on ammo in my life.
We're running out of ammo. We already shot all our rockets off. We're screwed. The only thing we can do is run away. We had no other choice.
Go, let's go! Get down the mountain! Get down the mountain, let's go!
The Taliban actually set up fighting positions with machine guns, waiting us because they're watching us walk down. As soon as we started walking down the mountain, they opened up on us.
Get on the mountain, let's go! Alright! He's got support! Get that side gunner down the mountain now! Get your ass down here!
There was any second before one of us was gonna get hit. And I was trying to get these guys off the side of the freaking mountain. Like, hurry the hell up. Why are you taking so long?
Make me come up there and get you. Move! Pal, jog now! Jog right now!
We finally get down and the company below is like not doing anything. I don't know what, they're running back just because there's so many of the Taliban out there and they're just hitting us hard.
Roger, we're all down the mountain at this time.
Those rounds are impacting all in between us. You see that shit? Good times, huh?
We went out to go do the BDA.
The original guy that the first one we had shot, he was dead in a ditch. We had found him. We ended up killing all 3 of those guys that were hitting our cop.
That's 3 we know that day that we took off the battlefield that we didn't have to worry about anymore.
That was a huge victory, but victories are very short-lived.
Oh! That one is right here, dude. I would duck, dude. Yeah. What's up, dude? Is this a cop attack?
RPG.
Oh, it's a cop attack. Yeah.
There's a guy right there, sir. He's shooting the RPGs.
After, you know, we killed them dudes, I just remember the indirect fire just, you know, got worse. And then they had a recoilless rifle. They're watching this recoilless rifle, you know, shoot. And that thing it's deadly. Nothing on our cop can stop it.
Hey, go ahead and keep it right there. Same spot.
May 25th, 2012 was a day that was a huge loss for our company. That day we lost Staff Sergeant Loaiza. He was a really good dude. Anybody you talk to that talks about Loaiza, they'll say nothing but good things about him.
He was my first like real NCO. He's the one that kind of threw me under his wing.
If you didn't have a place to go have Thanksgiving or didn't have family around, he would definitely bring you in, and he taught me a lot.
I remember it was just hammered down that day.
And I hear this and just the loudest crash I've ever heard in my life. And it was probably 100 meters from where I was. And I could tell just by how close it was and how loud it was that I knew that somebody had to be hurt.
Sergeant Loaiza was killed by a recoilless rifle round that had been harassing our cop for a little while. It was a big loss to our company, and I think everybody felt that.
Everybody wanted revenge. Everybody wanted to go out that day and just freaking find whoever was responsible for it.
Anytime anybody gets hurt or killed, you know, that just adds more fuel to the fire, makes you want to go out there and do some damage to some assholes.
While we were outside the cop, they started hitting the cop with recoilless rifle, and you could see from across the valley, you could see a smoke plume where it was coming from. We called up the position of where we saw it coming from to our TOC, and our TOC called in 3 JDAMs, which is 3 500-pound bombs, and dropped them right on top of that.
I need all third platoon to come back to this bombed out area. All third platoon come back to this bombed out area.
We get out there to start conducting BDA, which is battle damage assessment, and we see the 3 big bomb craters where it dropped. Evidently, we dropped a bomb directly on top of where it was. I took my squad and I pushed out into this little wheat field, and we were searching for anything maybe that had been blown out, thrown out somewhere, anything, you know, parts of the recoilless rifle, rounds, body parts, anything. And that's when we started taking contact.
Hey, get over the wall! Move! Move, 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 move! Frag out! Frag out! Hey, push up to the compound! Push up to the compound!
We were pushing up to the tree line, and just to, you know, make sure we weren't going to walk into a trap, we fragged these tree lines. We hit them with grenades.
Hey.
We mark our position with smoke so 3rd Platoon and the other squad can see our position.
Roger, we're gonna be running through an open field. We need covering fire. Hey, we gotta go right through here. Roger, we're gonna be moving west of the purple smoke.
I'm running up to where their position is. It had to have been like 3 or 4 clicks from the cop, you know, exhausted, and you've been on patrol for 19 hours. It's all Taliban territory, you know. They're all over in that area.
Hey, keep eyes right here. Got a compound right here that we're gonna hit. Come back, Wood. Yeah, we're hitting this compound. Where's the door up here? Yeah. Alpha team. I know exactly where we are. Shh.
I treated it 100% hostile, like it's a 100% hostile compound. The guys we just dropped the bombs on were the ones responsible for it, and the ones that were shooting at us, I guarantee had something to do with it too, so I didn't care. I was going in this compound 100% full hostile, ready to kill everyone in it.
Let's go!
Windows, windows. Windows. Hey, stack on me, let's go! Stack on me, let's go! Oh man, it's gonna work. Get down! Get out of the way! Someone coming this way! Look that way! Start clearing these rooms, one at a time. One at a time. Prayer rooms.
Room clearing, it's a pretty dangerous deal. That's always weighing on the back of your mind, but at this point, I didn't care. I don't think anybody else cared.
No, never mind.
I was bound and determined to find something or someone responsible for that recoilless rifle.
I got a machine gun barrel.
I threw one of their standard drawers down out of the way, and there was a little bump in the rug, and I kind of reached down and I pulled it out, and it was actually a barrel to a machine gun.
Let's go. Be quiet. Everybody stop talking. Wesley. Stevenson, show me where'd you find that? Upstairs. What is this? Hey, what is this?
We had just got that recoilless rifle. We had just got the people responsible. I found this machine gun, so that means it's time to start questioning people. But ironically, it's all women in there. All the men happen to be gone. Imagine that.
Let's go. I hear you.
Bud, get right behind me, bud.
Hey, get your weapons up, guys.
At this point, we need to push back to Route New York and push back to the cop.
Gun, push down to, get in the prone, watch down the alley. If that dude pops out, smoke him. Dust his ass if you see him again. He's doing something stupid. Where's he at?
He's right there. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that right on him?
Yeah.
Gun team, pick it up, bound it to here.
Hey, which way were you taking cars? Go to New York. Waiting for you guys to push through.
Eventually made it back to the cop. The results of that day were definitely good for us. We took out that recoilless rifle and multiple people who were responsible for using it. That day was definitely a win for us. Chark was definitely a better place when we left it than it was when we got there. After we took out that recoilless rifle, our cop wasn't hit. The remainder of the 3 weeks we were there wasn't touched one time. We were able to push out further before the Taliban had any influence. Taliban lost a lot of influence.
What's up, though, man?
They asked when we got back, you know, what good did you do? And you could see from all the little kids that we helped out, that were coming out and play. They could go out and play safely. I'd do it again, 100%, you know. You know, some people don't agree on the war, you know, and some things I don't agree on what we did over there. But I'd do it 100% again, you know. I'd fight with the same guys, you know.
I honestly didn't even really think or expect to live through my deployment because there was just so many close calls on a daily basis. But by the time our deployment came to an end, it was almost a surreal moment, having survived something so serious and dangerous as a place like Chark.